good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Dianne Wanja. I love networking. I love talking about building confidence, and I also love public speaking. I am also a shy person. Today, we will look at the summary of the webinar that we did on 13th May 2023 about shyness. Shyness, the disease. The webinar structure consisted of various topics. We talked about shyness as a disease. We looked at whether shyness is a good or bad thing. We looked at what shyness feels like. We also looked at positive traits and negative traits of a shy person and how we can turn shyness into confidence. We had a really interesting webinar, and I'm looking forward to giving you a brief summary of what we talked about that day. Shyness as a disease. Now, first of all, maybe we could break down what a disease or disease is. DIS, the prefix dis, comes from Latin, where the literal meaning is apart. It can also mean remove or opposite of. So disease or disease means not at ease, meaning to be worried, not feeling relaxed. Now that's what shyness is. Not feeling relaxed, feeling worried, judged. So let's look at shyness in a bit more detail. Now, when you think of shyness, do you think of shyness as a good thing or a bad thing? When we talked about shyness in the webinar, a lot of people said that it was a bad thing. They related it to a lot of negative traits. So for you, do you perceive it as a good thing or a bad thing? Shyness is generally regarded as a negative and unpleasant emotional state, a state that can sometimes lead to loneliness and social anxiety. This is what shyness has generally been regarded as. This is what it has been investigated as. And that's why, in the literal sense, someone can think of shyness as a disease. I'd like to know what shyness feels to you, to whoever is listening to this, to whoever is watching this. What does shyness feel like? For some people, shyness is an uncomfortable feeling. It makes you self-conscious, nervous, bashful, timid. Shyness generally comes from a fear of being judged or rejected, and it leads to a lot of insecurity. And some physical sensations can include blushing, feeling speechless or breathless or shaky. For some people, they said that when they were doing speeches, they forgot the initial words of the speech and ended up fumbling as they were speaking. Some people say that they got some sudden memory loss and sweating. For me, growing up in school, I did get a lot of leadership positions, but when it came to speaking, my voice would become shy. I had no problem carrying out the tasks, but when it came to actually speaking in front of people, giving a vote of thanks or welcoming someone who is coming onto the stage, I would get very shaky. Everything in me would shake. My fingers would shake. It was quite embarrassing. In some cases, some people said that they were not able to express themselves because they felt that they were not good enough. And someone actually said there was a loss of words and English just goes. English just disappears. I found that funny, but it is so real. And so shyness, This is what shyness feels like for most people. Now, let's look at some myths around shyness. Okay. A lot of people think or feel that shy people are introverts. It is believed that if you are shy, then you're definitely an introvert. This is not true. A fact. Shy people can be extroverts too. And in many cases, once an introvert takes time to assess the environment, to reset, they are able to interact actively with other people without worrying too much about judgment. So, not every person that is shy is an introvert. The second myth is that extroverts can't be shy. That's not true. Now, since shyness is about the fear of being judged or viewed negatively by other people, an extrovert can still find joy in social situations, but feel anxious about how others see them at times. I know quite a few people who are extroverts. Actually, in my life, I'm surrounded by extroverts. And in social situations, in parties or in places where there are lots of people, they thrive. But then they sometimes feel anxious in some situations. They feel judged in some situations, even when they're not being judged. The third myth is if you're a shy person, you can't be a public speaker. I am shy. Anyone that has known me from when I was young knows that I am quite a shy person. But hey, here we are pursuing public speaking. I had to challenge myself and get past that barrier. Fact. Many shy people overcome shyness and become great public speakers. Personally, I can't say I have overcome shyness, but I am working very hard at my public speaking. I have to challenge myself. I have to go that extra mile. Being shy doesn't mean you can't develop fantastic communication skills. You might feel anxious and insecure when speaking in public, but you could still do it very well. And that's me. The fourth myth is that shyness is the same as social anxiety. Now, fact. Social anxiety is a mental health condition, and shyness is a personality trait. So those two are different. Shyness and social anxiety do share some similarities, though. So both involve fear of being judged by others in social settings. So they do share that similarity. However, for a shy person, it's likely that after a few moments of resetting and assessing the environment and feeling a bit more comfortable in that environment, the shyness will lessen or the reaction to the environment will lessen. It's also probable that feeling this way doesn't keep you from engaging in activities like work, school, parties, hobbies. So, someone who's shy is still able to lead a normal life. However, with social anxiety being a mental condition, it can prevent someone from living a normal social life. It might sometimes even keep them from engaging with people at work, in school, in parties. So those two are very different. The fifth myth is that shy people have low self esteem. Now, while a person with low self esteem might act shy or have a tendency to keep to themselves, it doesn't mean that someone who experiences shyness is also experiencing low self esteem. Not necessarily. It's simply a fear of being judged when you are in front there. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not good enough. It just means, what are these people thinking about me? So, those are the 5 myths around shyness. Now, let's look at the negative traits of a shy person. We discussed this with the people that attended the webinar. And a lot of them said that they do tend to have a negative self preoccupation. And most of the time, this negative self preoccupation is not real, it's in our minds most of the time. We also tend to get paranoid because of the fear of being judged. We tend to feel like everybody is against us or does not want us to succeed while we are in front there speaking. You know, there's quite a lot of paranoia that comes with shyness. And last but not least, people talked about self pity. You know, you're in front there talking to people, and you're thinking, "Ah, I wish I can talk like Hannah Terindwa. I wish I can be as vibrant as her, but I'm not." And you start feeling bad about it. Then self pity now breeds a whole lot of negative emotions that can prevent you from moving forward. So these are some of the negative traits of a shy person. Now, let's look at the positive traits, which are so many. I know here we have only listed six, but I can assure you there are way more than six. It's just that these are the ones that were discussed at the webinar. It has been said by a lot of shy people that they are attentive. They pay attention to detail. When you give a shy person a project to do, they do not want to be judged. In other words, for lack of better words, they don't want to screw up. So they will pay attention to every detail and ensure that that project comes out as perfect as possible so that they are not judged for doing a bad job. It has also been said that shy people are generally caring and sensitive. Because they have great listening skills. So people with a shy personality are especially caring towards the people that they love, and they're always very interested in how others feel. So they are considered to be very good friends. Another positive trait of a shy person is that they're generally highly perceptive. They will listen because of their sensitivity and listening skills. They tend to be highly perceptive. They look at things from the outside. They look at things as a whole. And because of that, they're able to understand the whole picture. And they're able to listen to what is not being said. So they're generally highly perceptive. They're also known to be outwardly calm towards others. So when there are a lot of people around us who are quite high strung, and shy people generally tend to have a calming effect. So, though you may experience inner turmoil as a shy person, your outward appearance is probably one of being very calm. And this calmness and ability to not react may have a positive effect on those around you. Last but not least, a shy person gives space to others to express themselves. A good example is actually my sister and I. My sister is an extrovert, she's not shy. My father is also not shy. He says that fear is a luxury. We grew up hearing that. Now, I am shy. And because of that, I gave my sister the space to be herself. I gave my sister the space to shine without feeling like I want to shine too. So we give space to others. Now, do we need to overcome shyness? In my opinion, not necessarily. I think it's good to be your authentic self. We've talked about all those positive traits of a shy person. We can use them to our advantage. That's the good thing. The thing is not really to overcome shyness, but to accept it and work with it. Take advantage of it. Sincerity and authenticity go a long way into making you your perfect self. Now, how do we turn shyness into confidence? There are various ways of doing that. Now, because culture favors the bold, it can be very intimidating to be in an environment where your shyness is seen as a negative trait. So, are you the kind of person that is struggling to get where you want and need to be at work? Are you struggling with the meetings culture at work? Are you struggling to get the credit you deserve for a job that you did well? Or are you just learning to accept yourself for who you are? So, all these things are things that shy people generally go through in an environment where culture favors the bold. Now, how do we turn shyness into confidence? One, we can try and make the best of group meetings. How do we do that? Try and make your points less personal. Speak in the third person. So, for example, instead of saying, I think, you can say, it appears that, right? That's one of the ways you can do it, making points less personal. If you don't like public speaking, but you write exceptional emails, you might find that you're better off detailing your work in a project summary and then circulating this project summary to everybody before the meeting, so that as you present, they are also looking at your project summary and flowing with you. That way you won't have too much to explain. So that is one way you can take advantage of group meetings. The other thing is we need to learn to advocate for ourselves. For example, if you're in a group setting and you want to say something, but you're not comfortable doing it, try and request for a one-on-one time with your manager to get in some face time and talk about what you've been up to. Because in many cases, when there are fewer voices in the room, you're likely to feel more comfortable about your great work and your great ideas. So you could request for regular one-on-one meetings with your boss. And last but not least, you could implement methods to feel good about your authentic self. So both at work and in your personal life, you can practice mindfulness, become more attuned to what makes you feel good. What do you enjoy? What makes you feel good? And carry that positive mindset into work. So by being more aware of yourself and your feelings, you'll be able to recognize your accomplishments at work and take more pride in them. Now, from one shy person to another, from me to you. Shyness, from experience, shyness is simply a temporary state of unease. It's simply a dis-ease. Let's use our shyness to lead us to confidence. Let that awesomeness in you come out. Find ways of letting it out. And that is all about the summary. That is the summary of the webinar that we did on shyness, the disease. Now, Upenyu Creativity has a confidence building project where we talk about self-fortification, where you can have your own firm foundation and a good community to work with. We have a 12-week confidence building program that is starting this coming week on the 6th of June, Tuesday, the 6th of June at 7:30 p.m. East African time. This confidence building program will give you access to a classroom where you will discuss different issues around confidence. You will have expert mentors to walk with you. And you will have program accountability partners. So whatever you're dreaming of doing, whatever you want to do in your life, you will have accountability partners and mentors to walk with you. And how much does it cost? 2,000 shillings, only 2,000 Kenya shillings. This is one meal, and this is for 4 sessions. 2,000 shillings is a steak at a restaurant, a good steak at a good restaurant. And that is for 4 sessions. So we have a 12-week program. It's a 3-month program, 4 times in a month. Each month is 2,000 Kenya shillings. So for the 12 weeks, it will be 6,000 Kenya shillings, but you're welcome to pay it monthly. It is 300 South African Rand or $30 US. For more information, contact Upenyu Creativity. I look forward to having these sessions with you. And last but not least, as Hannah Tarindwa always says, love and light from my heart to yours. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. And please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't be shy to visit opinioncreativity.org, where our website where all our exciting programs are showcased. And if you've got any questions, just get the details from there. Until next time, bye.